Welcome to the IVM Podcast Network.
All right, please note that the language and ideas presented on the show might not be suitable for everyone. If you're under 18, make sure your mom isn't around. If you're over 80, why is your mom around?
You're listening to Cyrus Says.
If you like Donald Duck growing up, there's a Donald Trump around the corner. To ask us and tell us more about Donald Trump, the man, the myth, is Lynn McGuire Raj. That's right, her last name is Raj, don't ask me why. And Adam Dow.
Why follow your auntie's advice when you can follow Cyrus Says on Facebook and Twitter to stay updated about the latest shows?
Let's talk about sneezing culture in India. It's got to be stopped now. People must understand it's a very simple concept. When you sneeze, cover your nose. Don't sneeze and just carry on talking like nothing happened. I can't believe it. It happened to me just the other day. Somebody sneezed on my shoulder and just continued talking like nothing happened. All the phlegm was across my shoulder, down to my elbow, into that elbow pit area, and it stayed there for 3 hours. All this because the person didn't put his hand on his nose or looked away. Why do you sneeze into other people? I know it's a huge population problem. We don't get enough space. So sneeze into your own collar, sneeze into your shirt, sneeze between your legs, but sneeze away. It's called Cyrus Says.
And that's what Cyrus Says.
Okay, here in the studio on Cyrus Says, I have Lynn McGuire Raj. Ladies first, Adam, sorry. Even though Adam and Eve, and then you first, hence, by biblical reasons. But coming back, Lynn McGuire Raj, I am astounded. How did a Lynn McGuire become a Raj?
Oh, I'm very proud of that.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not. So you married an Indian?
I did.
The guy from that show, Big Bang Theory. Isn't he a Raj? I can't remember.
I married a Bangalore boy.
Everybody's Raj in Bangalore. What are you saying? They've got like 3 names. Raj is the main one. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm kidding.
He was Rajashekharaya.
Wow.
But that was a little bit challenging for the Americans to say when we went back.
And for anybody who's got a full-time job, because it takes like half an hour.
Yeah.
But Lynn, quickly, because we want to talk about the American elections around the corner, and Adam will introduce you in a second. Yeah. But just very quickly, I want to just talk about who you are and why you're here. And I don't want to blame
Do you have all day?
Travel agents. But, so you're a New Yorker who loves India, is this right?
Yes.
I could just read out from what we've researched. We called up your parents. Spent most of her adult life organizing fundraising events at the Big Apple. You sound like an Indian. You really do. Fundraising events, nothing specific. Until her Indophile tendencies, this almost sounds sexual, took over and she moved to India in 2004, where she ventured into artist management, where there were no artists, and concert production with DNA Networks. Is this right?
That is
in
correct.
Bangalore. And so you're a Bangalore-based concert producer. You're married to Raj something Iyer, with due respect, and you work with lots of people in Mumbai as well.
I'm now based out of Bombay.
Oh, and where's Raj?
Raj is at work right now.
In Bombay?
In Bombay.
So you dragged him here?
He dragged me back. I've been here twice.
This is the worst conversation I've ever had.
Around.
Where are you? So you're in Bombay and he's in Bombay.
I'm in Bombay. He's in Bombay. We met in Bangalore in 2004-05. We stayed there for a couple of years. We went back to the States, got hitched, came back.
Well, you got married in the United States of America, so not valid here. Raj is a smart guy. Be careful.
I missed my Bollywood wedding.
You did?
Yeah.
You didn't have your item numbers in your... We have a 42 celebration day thing. You know that, right?
I know.
This goes on. Some weddings haven't been completed. Started last year. This goes on. Let's bring Adam into it. Adam, is it Dow?
Yeah, that's correct.
D-O-W, like Dow Jones. You must have heard that all your life.
Yeah.
God, you hate that.
Yeah,
You're the artistic director of Improv Comedy Mumbai.
Yeah.
Are you the guy who actually started improv in Mumbai?
I guess you could say
You
that.
have a student called Kaniz.
I do have Kaniz, and it's her birthday today.
It's her birthday today. We are recording. Yeah. We're all so happy.
Happy birthday to her.
Yeah, happy birthday, Kaniz. Probably be a little later for her to hear it. But she's a bit slow, so it's the right day for her. Yeah. So you're the big improv guy who's... And when you started, there was nothing, right?
Not really. Not much. There was some... Obviously, stand-up comedy was happening. Open mic
I don't mean
nights.
the politicians. I mean like the actual entertainers. Were they?
Were there people doing improv?
Yeah, were they doing improv? And
there was like a few groups that were kind of doing it, seeing some stuff off of YouTube videos, kind of making it up as they go along. But I just had been doing it since I was 18 years old, and then came here. There seemed to be a big demand for it. Did classes with Thespo, and then did one with theater professionals.
Thespo's...
That's a Prithvi Theater.
Right.
Yeah, Sanjana Kapoor.
Right.
So they do the youth festival that happens every year.
So I want to ask, I want to ask how you both landed in India, firstly.
Airplane.
Fair enough. But not Air India, obviously. Just knew where you were going.
Scare India.
There you go. So you came here for a holiday?
I originally came here back in 2001. After college, I was doing some traveling, after the college travel kind of thing.
Right.
And one of my good friends is an Indian guy, DOP. And so he...
DOP as in director of photography?
That's
or is
correct.
that his name?
That
Because
is,
in India, in the South especially, these are normal names.
Yeah.
DOP, POY, LLK, RR2. Yeah.
No, his name is Viraj Singh. And he...
He's also Raj.
Yeah. No, Viraj.
He's Viraj. He's slightly sophisticated version.
Rajput. Nah.
There you go.
Yeah. So then he had moved to Bombay, and he was like, "Why don't you come check it out?" And so then after some time, he kept coming and visiting. So after some time, I was like, why not? I wanted to live abroad a little bit, and I wanted to be somewhere where I could keep working, maybe in arts and entertainment. And this seemed like a place. So I came over on another project. Found out there was like no improv comedy happening, but there were a lot of people wanting comedy. So I just started teaching classes, and then just things started going. We started getting invited to international festivals. There's a bunch of people.
By international, do you mean Bangladeshi? Or
yeah,
like
even beyond
the
Bangladesh. We went to Amsterdam. We've been to Toronto. We're going to Canada and the U.S. in February 2017. We've performed.
So you're going back home?
Yeah, I'm taking them back to my home place.
State,
Yeah.
And none of them will return.
Yeah.
Only you come back
my
to India.
name is all over that
go.
visa. They're definitely all going home. I will hunt them down and find each of them.
So almost like an accident. You come here and you sort of stay back. Lynn, what's your story again?
Oh, good God. That's a long one.
Come on.
I started probably in my mid-teens. I was really fascinated with India. Then I started having a...
But what is this Indophile thing? Back in Delaware, is it? No, New York?
By that time, I was in New York. I went to a lot of Desi parties. I started watching Bollywood
Indian influence
movies.
As in people, ethnic Indian American types.
Yeah. Lots of Desi friends, Desi movies, Desi food, concerts. Then I came over for, the holiday. And very, very dramatically, I cried on the tarmac. Felt like I was home. Blah blah blah.
Really?
Yeah,
you like India that much?
Back then
can
I
we
did.
switch? I'll go to New York.
My
Can we
age,
switch?
I've tempered a bit. I'm a bit more, I would say, balanced now.
Okay, so you were highly emotional. You were like a Punjabi housewife for the first 6 months.
Yeah,
okay, now we get it.
Yeah. And then, so I had so much fun traveling around. Met a great group of friends. Decided that was it. I was going to go back home, pack up my bags, sell my car, get rid of my apartment, and come on over and have an adventure. So
And you've never left since?
No, I did.
But every day you want to. I'm just asking.
I did leave. I left for some time, and then I came back.
You left as in permanently? You left
Yeah, permanently I left.
So there were scars.
Yeah.
Tell us everything.
Actually, I had some health issues. I went back, stayed with my parents. Then that's when the guy came over. We got hitched. And then a couple years later, India kept calling back. So I figured, okay, chapter 2, it's time.
Did he stay with your parents?
He did.
Was he well behaved? Because normally in the sexist part of the world, it's normally the guy's parents and the new wife.
It was really sweet, actually.
Yeah, did he help clean and cook and all that? Because Indian men don't know any of that.
But the best part was that he came over and literally moved right in with me and my parents.
That's Indian.
Yeah.
That's absolutely Indian.
For my parents, it wasn't. They were like...
Why is he here?
But he came over on the fiancé visa, so we had the 1 month and got married. And, yeah.
And did you have an Indian wedding later?
Funny enough, years later, when his brother wanted to get married, his parents decided that we hadn't gotten married properly. So in the middle of the holiday treatment with the brother and his wife...
They pushed you in.
The priest was sort of doing that...
thing, the Fera thing.
Yeah, he was doing the
2
thing.
for 1.
And then the parents were saying, can you please marry these two? And then suddenly he turned over and looked at us and started suddenly marrying us. And then...
Without being offensive, is that a sense of cheapness that, might as well just save money on this one? And I don't know, I'm asking.
Oh, it was a lovely surprise.
For you?
Yes, and I got my Mangal Sutra, so I was very excited.
Oh, damn. She's so Indian, I hate her. Why can't I get a regular American to come and talk here? For us, it's like a breath of fresh air. We get different people. But no, you're like just like a really fair Indian. It's not fair. Oh, no pun intended.
Okay.
Adam, you got an Indian wife on the side you want to talk about?
Mine status is complicated.
Oh, please.
Yeah.
We're here to listen. It's therapy.
I'm not. Yeah. So I've been dating a girl for the last 2.5 years, and
She doesn't know.
she doesn't know yet.
Okay.
We're psychically dating,
Yeah.
and so eventually I'll emerge, and it will happen in a bigger way, hopefully.
Okay, so you don't want to talk about it, or is it...
It's complicated. Yeah. It's a long distance thing. She's in Calcutta. She's doing big work. She did stuff for the UN and has been flying around. She's running a school over there right now, doing working
Crazy
with kids.
story. You come from the States, you live in this part of India, Mumbai, and you find someone in Calcutta, which is
I know. I am
other end.
also asking myself the same question.
I mean,
right
no
now.
disrespect to her.
Yeah.
She must be really good looking.
Yeah, well,
So all I can think of.
What can I say?
3-hour flight to Calcutta where people work only 2 hours a day. It's even worse than here. And there are more mosquitoes, I can tell you that. All right, we've got you here actually not to talk about your professions. You all do really well in what you're doing and you're enjoying the country. And please don't overstay your welcome because there are too many of us. But having said that, there's a huge moment in the lives of the world. I think it's the global world now. John Lennon was right. There are no borders. Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton going chin to chin in a couple of weeks from when we record this.
Yeah.
So we wanted the American perspective and especially American-Indian perspective in a sense because you know both worlds. And let's face it, America affects everybody, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
So who wants to go first? Donald Trump, the enigma.
The Donald, the giant Cheeto.
Yeah.
I would say he's. I think he was like a representative of a lot of people that are disingenuous, jaded. What do you say? That are turned off by what the current disillusioned. That would be the word. By
अंग्रेजी नहीं आते उनको.
Yeah, I came in to master my own language. Sorry, it's still
but
early
I think that's a very valid point because I think a lot of so-called fascist people ride a proper wave, get into the actual truths of what people are thinking.
Yeah.
And even the xenophobia is something which is there. It's not like it doesn't exist in some people's minds. Sorry, you were saying.
So I think there was two polar opposites that were kind of going on. It was Bernie and then they had Trump, and they were kind of both sides of the spectrum. And I think with Hillary, she was backed by Obama, and so she kind of rode that through, also the first female president, so I think she had a lot of points there. And then Trump just destroyed everybody in the Republican Party.
Talk about that rise, Lynn, for a second. How the hell you guys grew up with, with, I would suppose...
Apprentice?
No, I'm just thinking the kind of people you had who were standing, nominees who were standing, far right as they may be, they would talk about things like guns and I suppose things like that and all, but this guy's taken it to another level. It's a little fearful in the world we live in that he's got this warrior-like stance for everything. And that too from an America which always says the politically correct thing.
Right.
Generally.
He's a bully, I think. He's a bulldozer. It's clear that whatever you say to him, he just uses noise and bravado and the power of his presence to say what he has to say.
Do you think he doesn't even think and it's like almost improv,
I think
but in a bad way?
most of the time.
The kid in class who just says anything comes to his mind and is really stupid but he thinks he's funny? Is it that?
Yeah. I doubt he goes with much speeches planned out.
Feels unfiltered.
No.
Well, first of all, how can those sniffs from the debates?
Yeah.
I mean, would he not have practiced?
That's what I can't understand because we've always seen these very practiced hands and rehearsed hands as Hillary is.
Yeah.
Or perhaps over-rehearsed.
Yeah.
So what, he doesn't listen to anyone? It's like you can't even tell him, is it?
Well, I think he planned his debate speech over burgers and just some beers, he said, and then he kind of had
He doesn't drink
writ it down on some napkins and stuff and figured out a couple of funny catchphrases and then kind of it's like going to the debate was like going for his big exam that he hadn't studied for.
And he takes his TV personality very seriously because he fires his own people all the time.
Yeah.
Literally. And apparently that's because if you don't agree with him. So it's very fascist sort of, as you said, a bully mentality from the beginning. You handed it to, you got it all on a platter and you take it further after that. And he's not really had opposition all his life, is it? Except the divorce courts.
Yeah. I think what you were saying, Adam, is that he has the backing of people who are using him as their voice, right? If you're really upset and you feel that you've been disenfranchised for whatever reason, he's using a lot of, I don't know.
No, but is there a lot of, this is a difficult question to ask someone, but do you think there's a lot of right-wing mindsets in America as well?
Yes, I think a lot of middle America is there.
Because he swept away the other nominees, apparently.
Yeah, I think a lot of middle America is there. We're both from pretty major cities, so in the cities you're not going to find people as much that are going to be in the same mindset, but as you go into middle America, it's going to be like going into the middle of India, right? You're going to find people that are living in villages. Same thing, you're going to find the American
And hate
equivalent.
politics works easily.
It picks up quickly. It's always easy to blame the other guy, put the problem on somebody else.
It's very easy to live a very bifurcated, polarized life there, okay? I mean, I feel that one of the things that I've always felt about being in India is that everything is all in front of you to experience, play with, think about, navigate, strategize. You can't hide from all aspects of your life, outside life, everything. It's all out there.
But let's play devil's advocate for a second, if I may, and just look at each specific issue. If you look at the whole Mexican thing, for example, is it not possible that in the ethnic American mind, they feel sometimes that with the cheap labor policies that are possible, these guys come in and get more of the work? We've seen similar things here in Maharashtra with North Indians and the locals. So is that also a little, because there's a little truth in what he says, isn't that why it works? So again, to play, it's a difficult thing to answer, but
Absolutely. I mean, if he wasn't saying something that some part of everyone actually... I mean, I have to say that there is even... I have to admit that there are times when what he's saying, it's not that I agree with him, it's just that I understand his...
Why you may agree with him.
I understand that he's angry and that he's expressing a dismay for the system, for the way things have been. That part I get. I get that maybe it's time for more than a two-party system in the U.S. I get that it's time for some breaking down of the systems.
Let's talk about carrying countries. Since we're in India, America carries a lot of countries, load for a lot of countries. His point being that, we dish out so much money to X country, Y country, Z country. What do we get in return for that? Let's stop it. We're literally running those countries. For what reason? In that sense, if you look at it from that point of view, of course, it sounds racist to the countries itself because, suddenly America wants to pull out, whatever. You had the Philippine guy going berserk and overreacting to Obama. I think as a fallout because of what he thought of Donald Trump and everybody else. But do you think that, so what he says again carries some weight?
But don't you think it has a lot to do with the pulse of kind of what's going on in the world right now? I mean, like after Brexit kind of happened, I think that was a big wake-up call to everybody about what's going on, and especially what's been happening with all the movement of refugees across, into Europe and all over. So a lot of people are like freaking out and thinking, oh no, these people are going to come to our country. So that's why this kind
two
of
sides. There's a
speech is
compassion
coming
point,
out.
and what do you do? We're a global village. You have to help people, the kids lying on beaches, etc.
Yeah.
And then there's the other side of the whole thing, which is what the hell, look after our own.
Yeah.
So which one my point is that there's a way that he puts things out where people are saying, hey, it may not be a bad choice. We come first. It's not that we are inhumane, but we come first, and then the Syrian refugees. So in that sense, he's been Islamic terrorism. Let's look at that for a second.
Right.
Every time you have an attack in Belgium or Paris or even India, immediately it's very easy for him to win a lot of brownie points with this kind of talk because people are just they're like, forget, I won't take any more chances. Again, he's thinking in a certain area where people also have their thoughts going at some point.
Yeah.
He appeals to fear. He appeals to fear. If you are afraid, you will want to hope that you can have some
and to masons, because he wants to build a wall.
True.
Yeah,
I think there's a lot of big speech that he uses, but when it really comes down to having any bite, I don't really think there's much there because, look how all the talk that he gave about, I'm going to make Mexico pay for this wall and stuff. When he met the Mexican president, he didn't say boo about anything. He was just like, oh, nice to meet you. I'm meeting a president. Oh, wow, and went back.
Gracias, sombrero time, and let's ride the donkey.
Hello, Mr. Salsa and guacamole.
So is it possible to say that if he does come to power, that he'd probably be a far more tamer version of himself in the reality of things?
That's hard to say because you don't know what he's going to do. And he doesn't know what he's going to do. And the people that work with him don't know what he's going to do. So why would you want someone like that?
If the past is any indicator, he's never changed his mode of speech. He's been a bully. He started off with "you're fired" so many years ago. He's still firing out there.
Yeah,
and the arrogance is dangerous.
And not just the arrogance, the fact he's had failure after failure for any business.
Nobody talks about that.
Yeah.
Nobody talks about the fact that he actually hasn't done that well.
Yeah, as a business person, he was given $1 million, I think, as just his startup capital by his father. And then because he doesn't want to release his taxes, he can set his value of how much he is actually worth to some ridiculous amount, which now they've shown his tax returns, which it's definitely not in the billion range.
He's figured out a way not to pay the taxes.
Yeah.
In a sense. Again, a very Indian approach. I must
he looks
say,
at it like smart.
Here.
He says it's a smart thing that he's done because he's cheated the government out of taxes.
Or let's say he's found loopholes.
Yeah. So, and he thinks, and his point is like, all the politicians do it, all the people with money do it. I'm just being honest.
Right.
But I don't know if that's correct because you would show your tax returns if you're being honest.
I miss dishonest Bill. I think he was wonderful. Okay, we have to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to set up a conversation we heard. Donald Trump in Hindi. Yes, Donald Trump in Hindi. And we have to talk about Hillary.
Yeah.
She actually exists, for God's sake.
Yeah.
Come on.
The lady with the emails.
There you go. And the hair.
Yeah.
He's not the only one.
Hi, I'm Amit Verma, the host of the weekly podcast The Seen and the Unseen. In my show, I examine the seen effects and the unintended consequences of public policy and private action. I show how policies meant to help the poor often end up hurting the poor. I've done episodes so far on demonetization, GST, surgical strikes, immigration and MRP. And I will continue my forensic assault on the truth in the weeks to come.
Catch the show every Monday on the IVM Podcast app or any other podcasting app that you prefer. Or visit seenunseen.in for all the latest updates.
All right, back here, Lynn and Adam. It was Adam and Eve, but we changed that. This is the newest testament,
Adam
if
and
I
Lynn, yeah.
dare say that.
Yeah.
God, before somebody comes after me,
Yeah.
but we're safe here.
Yeah.
So we're going to just show you a video of this wonderful orator, Cicero himself,
Yeah.
Donald Cicero Trump. And towards the end, he speaks in Hindi. So let's see your reaction, guys. Let's take a look.
Mr. Tan in the can. He's lighting a dia here.
This music must have got to him.
Oh, God.
Wow.
We love the Hindus. We love India. We've already got a communal issue here.
Yeah,
This is the
yeah.
last thing you want to hear.
Yeah,
Your
yeah.
reactions.
It sounds like typical Trump doing his speech. I think that it's funny to hear him speak the Hindi and try to explain what he's going to be doing with Prime Minister Modi. But I think they might be good friends. I don't know. Though I did see some shots of Obama and Modi hugging pretty well, and I do know Trump.
We hug all Americans.
Yeah,
You know that.
Well,
We'll
Trump
hug
is a
Donald
big
too.
hugger now. He was just on up there hugging the American
small
flag.
Small hands.
Yeah.
Does he actually reach?
Yeah.
He's really got small hands. I know the comedians go to town on it, but have you? I mean, it's just hilarious. A big guy with small hands.
I think it's because he chooses to talk about it is the reason that people go after it, because nobody's asking him about these things, but yet he finds a reason to talk about it.
But what an ego!
Yeah.
But he actually even the negative things he glamorizes. Like there's this slight Hitlerian pulse to it all. It gets a little scary.
Did you hear what Deepak Chopra said the other day on Conan? Mm-hmm. Did you hear that?
No, please tell us.
Oh, he said something. He was saying that Trump speaks from his genitals. Like he was going there.
Which would be great at cocktail parties, you know, as a trick. Eh? Trump, come here, show them what you can do.
Yeah.
But I thought it was so strange that like
But what does that
Conan was
mean?
asking like Deepak Chopra
Right.
on late night TV. But anyway, I guess
I think
we're all
after you
talking
become a
about it.
guru, you answer anything. You know, it's not about spiritual enlightenment. You can talk about aeronautical engineering. It'll be like, Guru, tell us, how does the plane fly? And Guru says yes.
Yes.
Yeah, God, we've got lots of them.
Guru qualified.
I wish I was Deepak Chopra.
Yeah.
I think if you're an Indian American in the 90s, you're either a doctor, a driver, or Deepak Chopra. These are the three options available. Now there are four, IT. All right, so we had a taste of that. And
The Trump and now the Hillary. Is that
And
what
now the
we're-
Hillary.
Yeah.
Now the Hillary. I get this. You give me your feedback first, of course, but we get a sense of Hillary being almost like the only other option, and hence we'll vote for her. It's not like a positive wave which is moving towards Hillary and Democrats, etc.
Right.
Lynn, New Yorker.
This is so complicated. I mean, I really want to go off on the whole, like, you know, this is, I think...
Do you believe in Hillary Clinton?
I believe that she is qualified, she's smart. I think that one of the things that I do like about her, that a lot of the folks who've worked with her in the past say about her, is that she's an incredible listener, which means to me, which means to me that she does her homework and that she's about relationship building. And I think that globally and as time goes by, that's what we really need in a leader. I can't say I'm on necessarily the Hillary bus. But I am really proud of a woman who has literally sat and taken so much crap and stand there with grace and poise and like responds educably to questions. I don't know
It's
if I
almost
even said that correctly, but
the brat in the party, the obnoxious brat in the party taking shots at one of the better, well-heeled women. It always looks like that on stage, at least to us.
and I think that if a woman is going to be president in the U.S. today, she's not going to get there without some battle and scar bruises right now. I think that's just where we are in the world. I mean,
I was actually, last time we had the election with Obama and Hillary running, it seemed like, to me, it was like where America's at, they would be more open for someone like Obama than a Hillary to come in. And it seems like now that...
So sexism is the strongest
I think
problem.
there is. I think there's a
Beyond
heavy
color
level
and
of it.
everything
I
else.
think a heavy
I
level
think around
of
the world.
You think? We've had what? We've had Prime Minister. We're one of the first. Golda Meir, Israel, India, Bangladesh. Bangladesh has 3 women Prime Ministers.
Yeah, well, as progressive as we pretend to act, I think
What a
lot
paradox.
of us, yeah,
Really?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think with Hillary coming into power, I think she's had to go through a lot of hoops that maybe even higher bars that are expected for her.
And
I mean,
also...
even with the email and private server stuff.
Yeah, can we talk about that?
I know that like Jeb Bush has also had it. Bobby Jindal has also had private servers, but nobody talks about that. It's obviously
George Bush in 2007.
George Bush Senior, Junior?
In 2007, the junior, he had all of those emails about the U.S. attorneys. Remember, he fired like a whole bunch of U.S. attorneys, and there were like apparently 22 million emails that were like deleted.
I don't see the problem
Yeah,
with
nobody
private
cared.
email.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even. I don't
Honestly.
either. But I'm just saying, like, he did not have a whole crowd behind him screaming and crying, saying, "Please, can we see these emails?" It was just kind of a story. And it was like blip. Oh, okay.
But it's also, there's not much to take her down on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, compared to his sordid past with his sexism and the way the last thing about his locker room talk, which, okay, let's face it, we men do talk badly and all that, but you're going to be the president of the US, you can't be caught saying that.
Yeah, that's pretty tasteless, kind of.
And you can't say you've changed because you haven't. Nobody's seen any change in so many years. So women's vote, at least, I doubt he'll get too many.
I would
Across
say
the board,
so.
including mid.
But there are women out there that would support him. I mean, again, middle
You think?
America, there is people that
God,
have a
yeah.
very specific way, and they're very cut off. You have to understand, it's a very isolated life living out there. You only,
But there's no, support, solidarity for the female.
You would think that, but a lot of
Unless
people...
because of his hair, they think he's the female. I'm telling you,
Right.
that hair is a problem.
I mean, it's the way of politicians are run now. Logic isn't what matters, or facts are what matters. It's more of like the way he debates. Trump is about a visceral feeling, and he can just say any insane thing, and people will just be like, "Oh, that's the fact." You'd be like, "Hillary is ISIS."
because
He
people
can
are
say-
identifying with the
Yeah.
feeling. But yeah,
Also, research has shown that the telegenic, the more personality-driven kind of person tends to win in
Yeah.
America.
Yeah.
The charismatic guy, the guy who's larger than life, the guy who...
do you know? A couple of weeks ago, I really was scared. And I was also walking around saying, "I'm sorry" to like most people I know, but
So now you know what it's like to be Indian. There you go.
but now I'm feeling more positive.
Well, he's
As
behind by
positive-
double digits now. It looks like it's...
But anything can happen.
He may lose by the biggest amount
As we
ever.
can tell,
think?
yeah,
That's what they're saying now, but who knows?
Well, I'm just counting the ethnic groups together. If you can do that, we do it in India all the time. So
Yeah.
you put people in lobbies and groups,
Right.
and you find that he's stuck with white, mid-American males over 30. You know, it's not that much of a. It is a sizable amount, but it's not enough to win an election.
Yeah.
So if that demographic is to be believed,
Yeah, I think he's definitely kind of narrowed himself down to a very specific niche group of people that would follow him.
I have only one fear: there should be no big attack on any European country or American state by Islamic terrorists just prior to November 8th.
Yeah.
I worry
Well,
about
I'm
that.
also interested to see, because I feel like there's still some more big bombs to drop on both of the sides, both
They're
Trump
holding
and
back their
Hillary.
big guns?
Yeah, I mean, like Hillary's had all of her emails hacked, and I mean, as of now, nothing big has come out. But the question is, when are they gonna? If there is anything coming out, it will be now in the next couple of weeks.
She can never follow Bill Clinton in terms of controversy. She just can't.
Right.
Well, the one thing is that I really am not excited to see what will happen post the election. You know, a lot of times I think, maybe you'll agree with me, that in the past, a president who loses the election very in a dignified, quiet way, goes off like into the woods somewhere and nobody hears from him for like 6 months.
Rides into the sunset and everybody's happy, movie's over.
I'm a little concerned that our friend Trump
He's going to go to court.
Well, he's come out and he's done something very controversial. Is he said he will decide if he's going to accept the election results.
And he's not decided if he'll decide yet.
So if he wins, he'll accept it. If he doesn't win, he won't accept it. So
he's not going to go down without.
I think he belongs in the subcontinent. He just seems to be right for our part of the world.
Yeah.
Because he goes around in circles sometimes. Just like with this whole comment about I may or may not accept it. I haven't decided.
Right.
What's that all about?
And it's a lot about this mob mentality, mob justice kind of thing. Like he'll be like, you know, I've seen him in interviews where there's like, so what do you feel about, you know, abortion or something? And then he'll just turn to the audience and is like, what do you think, guys? And then just everybody kind of yells randomly. It's like
feel the pulse.
It's the worst kind of television, which is the you know, reality TV. It's that kind of
he's Jerry Springer, but even worse.
Yeah, it's like having Jerry Springer. But Jerry Springer would actually be more intelligent than I think.
Yeah, he plays his role.
He knows what he's doing.
Gets these guys to misbehave.
But by the way, did you hear that
he's
he actually
the guy
invited
on Jerry
him?
Springer? Sorry,
he invited him on the show. He was like, "You belong on my show, not on like the platform."
And bring all 4 wives.
Yeah. Or even hearing about Trump bringing Bill Clinton's ex, you know, lovers or
what
whatever.
What was that
women.
all about?
I mean, how
that was so tasteless.
Again,
and why did they come?
TV.
Why did they come?
And now for the last one, he wanted to bring Obama's
half-brother. Yeah, who's Republican, although he's African from Kenya. Yeah, whatever.
Who has absolutely no... Why would that throw Hillary?
He got a free trip to America. Okay, I'll come. And sit there and put your hand up. Yeah,
again, I bow my head in shame.
No, I mean, see, that's all circus stuff. I'm okay with that. I'm just worried about the policies and if they're actually going to come true. Because, you know, we're living in a world where I think there's a right-wing reaction waiting to happen all across the world. Right. Austria, for example, even countries like Australia, you have right-wing parties coming up. And if that starts happening, as may happen here, then, you know, we really could have like an explosive situation. And America always sets the pace.
Right.
There's no doubt about that.
Right, yeah.
So that's my big fear. I don't mind all the nonsense about, you know, calling people, making them sit there, because I think that's more like bad television that he's organized.
Yeah, he wants to make the spectacle of the whole thing.
But is he who he claims to be? Is he going to build a wall and literally build walls between people? See,
I think a lot of people that do sympathize with Trump don't think that he's going to take such a hard stance. They think this is just big talk to try to scare people and then, you know, play crazy.
But
and then you don't know what you're going to do.
Consistently changes his mind. I mean, aren't there videos now circulating about how he and Hillary were obviously friends many years ago, and he was advocating for her, and
even in the roast, they were fine.
Yeah.
If you saw them in the roast and all, they were, you know, almost like old college buddies. Everything's hunky-dory. There was no big strained relations of any kind.
I mean, the fact that he was a Democrat and then did a full 180 on his stance.
Well, if they gave him a ticket, he would stay a Democrat, I'm sure.
Yeah. So I think that's been the big question of everybody doesn't know what he's going to do next.
I just trust that even if I don't know what her thoughts are, I trust her thought process. And I trust her to weigh several different options.
She's a mature politician in that sense.
Yeah.
And she has a team which has already been there, and you're hoping that the democratic way, at least for most liberals across the world, is the right way, in the sense that, you know, no to war unless you really have to, and all these other things.
Right.
But it is so strange, can I tell you? I mean, I don't know about you, but I wake up in the morning and I just scroll on my Facebook and just watch what happened the night before in my country, and it's such a weird feeling. You're sort of like, oh, the horror. And then, of course, you know, like reality TV, you can't stop watching it. You just keep scrolling going, what happened? You know, I mean, and there were times when during the debates, I just couldn't watch. I thought
the debates were, at points, coming from me, a little immature at points.
Yeah, I thought it was
like
really
a child,
down,
It was like a spoiled child who didn't get to, you know, the baseball, didn't give him a chance to bat or play or whatever, and he's getting irritated.
And I blame a lot on that on Fox and CNN for the way they report the news, because it's becoming so much more like a reality
so you
TV
push
show.
all this. I understand. That's again, you know, that's the way it is.
Yeah.
And you get this guy who's great TV. Look at what we've done. We nearly finished talking here, and 80% we've spoken about Trump, and maybe 15% at best for Hillary. And you're probably both going to vote for Hillary if you're allowed to vote.
Yeah.
So it's just amazing. He's got that. Is charisma the right word? He's just got that thing where we're all fixated by him.
He's the spectacle. I think everybody, and I think that's what he's ridden so far, is that he's just, people actually do like watching him. They just having him be in charge of the whole country would be pretty bad.
We like him on TV. Let's face it, non-Americans want to watch Donald Trump. He has that power, and you can look around the world and you'll see the same result.
Yeah.
But you're right. He comes to power, and then
it's like watching a train wreck. You can't look away. You're like, oh my God, what is this thing that's happening? But you don't want it to happen. You know what I mean? Because
I remember him calling out to 2 African-American men in the audience in one of the early rallies where he goes and says, see, I've got 2 African-American men. Come on, yo, put your hands up. And it was just so fake. It was so unnecessary. And making a spectacle of them. And they were just passing by probably.
Right. No, I'm if not even paid to be there, I wouldn't be surprised.
But the ultimate actor in some ways.
And you heard about the last speech that he gave. So there's recently, just in the last day or two, it's been like now with the Obamacare is changing. They've had to raise the prices quite a bit on Obamacare, and they caught Trump's. Didn't he go to Delaware or wherever he went to give his big speech? And he had so many opportunities to kind of talk about issues around this and make this into a point. But again, he talks about how he's going to sue all the women that have come out against him. Then he goes, and it's obvious that he's planted people with these blacks for Trump signs in the background, in which he's like, oh, see, the blacks like me. First thing, a black person is not going to call themselves blacks. That's wrong.
Yeah.
And then they shows us a white lady that's holding the sign. And so it's just like that. And then this is how it blew me away how stupid he was, is they say, he goes, I've got lots of employees here that work at the Trump building. He calls up his employees and say, come on, say something good about me. If they don't, they're going to get fired. And then he goes on to say, I have lots of employees and they're all struggling with Obamacare. Now, if you're a hired employee, you don't have Obamacare. You have insurance. Your company pays for your insurance. Any person that is a business person would know that. You're only on Obamacare if you don't have a job. So the guy doesn't even know what insurance his company is
in
paying.
Obamacare.
Yeah.
And this man might rule the world in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Okay, final words, Lynn. Final words on the American spectacle. Now, you guys are sort of Indian Americans because you live here. Mm-hmm. But, your family is there. You go back from time to time and you cannot not be affected deep down. So what do you think? What's going to happen? Final words.
I think that this actually has forced a lot of us to really look inside, honestly. I think it's really forced out a lot of our own uglinesses. To be fair, I think it's required all of us to get honest with ourselves about our own racist tendencies or thoughts, or the fact that I've scrolled and watched all these videos. I don't love that about myself, so I'm looking at that right now. But I actually am hopeful that some good stuff is going to come out of this.
Do you think America missed a trick with Bernie Sanders?
I think that we're not ready for Bernie.
Mm-hmm. But do you think he would have been the guy for you? All said and done?
I think he represents a lot more of what I believe in terms of he's much more inclusive and egalitarian, and he's about building community. I don't know what that would have looked like, but I don't know that we're there yet. I think I'd like to see us go in that direction. Yeah, I'd like to see us go in that direction.
Yeah. I feel that it's, I agree. There's a lot of conversations that are coming to the table that I think need to be happening. And I think that, for a long time, America was built on, slavery and all these things. And there's a lot of undertone that's there. And we just want to make sure, pretend like it's all not there. It's all disappeared. It's not happening. And I think that's being called to the surface now. Yeah. It's an important discussion and dialogue that our country has for us to progress and move ahead. And I think it's kind of dirty and it's like gross because we have to bring out all these things in the closet.
So will it come to the surface with Donald Trump?
Yeah, I think Donald Trump is representing it. I think he's spearheaded it in a big way. The fact that he hasn't even come out against the KKK, he's used KKK code language when he's talking about him. Yeah. So I think
so you'll have a president to wear a white cape and a hood and come and address.
No, but the thing is that, again, he'll just say whatever he says. So then the next day he'll be like, oh, no, I'm not like that. So he changes his flip-flops on everything.
It doesn't seem to be a very strong substance, all said and done. But that's just too dangerous. You guys better be careful. One wrong step, Americans abroad, he's watching you as well. Yeah. Okay, listen, you guys have been wonderful. Lynn, Adam, thank you so much for giving us your insights on the home state of America. Yeah. And we all worry because most Indians wanted to live there, given a choice. But unfortunately, you have very strong visa powers. Don't let us cross.
Not as bad as Canada.
Is it?
Yeah.
Canada's worse?
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of visa stuff, bringing Indians, trying to get them for international festival. And Canada has been much... Yeah. No, I'm not smuggling.
Go ahead. Someone has to do it.
But, that's all I had to say.
Canada's the worst.
I would say Canada's a little harder than this.
So where do we go when we want to leave India?
Where would you go?
Yeah.
I don't know. There's many places you can go. Switzerland. You can go to anywhere you can see in a Bollywood movie. No.
There you go. All right. Well, we feel at home because we have Indians dancing in the background.
Yeah.
And running a motel.
Right.
Hey, it's all right. You got us here.
Yeah.
We can all hang out together.
All right. Oh, we can start the BGs. The three of us.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Jokes apart. Let's see what happens.
Right.
I have no idea, but I think the world will still go on one way or the other. Go Democrats.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, stay where you are.
I
We're doing
agree.
the AMAs before we wrap up, which is Ask Me Anything. You're on the spot.
Oh, nice.
Hi, I'm May, and I'm a huge fan of the indie music scene in our country. A scene that's relatively underground, even though it sometimes speaks its head overground. But there's no shortage of talent, and I get the privilege of interviewing some of the most awesome musicians on my show. I've had the likes of Euphoria, Krish Kale, Hardcore, Randolph Correa. I've had singer-songwriters, folk singers, electronic music producers, playback singers, rappers, fusion artists, instrumentalists, classical musicians, and so on. Whether mainstream or not, these people have chosen to release their original music, and these are the people currently shaping the direction in which our music scene is heading. Join me on my show every Monday and tune in to discover the unique talent coming out of India today. You can catch Made in India on your favorite podcasting app or our very own IVM podcast app. If you have any questions for Cyrus, write to us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Or you can send an email to whatcyrussays@gmail.com.
All right.
Hi.
May say hi to Lynn and Adam.
Lynn. Hi,
Two
Adam.
old friends.
I know Adam.
Yeah.
Two old friends of mine from
Yeah.
Leopold, Colaba.
Leopold Galaba.
That's where we used to find foreigners. I'm sorry. Most racist comment you can
I
ever
did
hear.
used to hang out there.
Yeah, I'm right.
Have you, Adam, have you done the Leopold's thing?
I've been to Leopold's before. I don't know if I've ever been picked up at Leopold's, but maybe.
By Cyrus?
Yeah. Or
That's what he does.
We didn't pick up foreigners. We need them for shoots and stuff.
Oh.
They actually go to Leopold, find people.
Yeah.
They're bored. They'll come for a day. You pay them a little money. They have lunch. They have the whole Bollywood experience. They have fun, and they go back and decide American cinema is better. That's it.
So we have our AMAs now?
AMAs.
I ask
May, by the
questions.
way, is the highest paid radio jock in India.
That is rubbish.
She earns.
Don't believe a word
she
he
earns-
says ever.
She earns more than the GDP of Myanmar, which used to be Burma.
Look who's talking.
Oh, I'm a
You're at least
socialist. I'm a Bernie Sanders supporter. They know. I'm all for like egalitarianism, everybody, almost communism. Come
Really?
on, off you go.
Okay, so my first question is from Akash, who says, what do you think about while you're in the loo?
Okay, this is for everyone. Huh? Maybe addressed to me. Going far away from... This is what Donald Trump's speeches are. This is what he thinks of while he's in the loo. I think. They come to him like Mozart's concertos.
tweets about it,
Yep.
actually. Yeah.
I'm in the loo and I'm hitting Mexicans. Yeah. What do I think of? It all depends.
Yeah.
What kind of mood I'm in. Sometimes I have dirty thoughts. Sometimes I have really
Are you
dirty
in
thoughts.
the loo? Is this
Yeah.
like dump time? Or
Oh,
weed
you
time?
mean in the Lulu? Oh, that way. All right. Oh, I can't remember. I just read, like most people.
Yeah,
It's my
what about you
reading
guys?
time.
Yeah. Depends on what needs to be done in the loo. If how much attention.
How much
needs
time?
To, yeah, and
How much
yeah.
focus he needs to get.
Yeah,
How
yeah,
much
exactly.
focus you
Focus
need.
is
Also, they're not used to sharing the loo, so we do it with all 5 people together. But for them, it's
yeah,
different.
yeah. we
Yeah,
need
I
to
also
sort-
worry about whether or not there's TP because I'm still a TP girl.
Oh, yeah, I don't mind. I'm a TP.
A
girl as
TP,
well.
as in we're talking about women's products here.
We're talking
No,
about toilet
tissue
paper.
paper.
I thought tampons. I was like, man, why are we
tissue
discussing
paper.
tampons?
TP.
Damn, why couldn't it be
Yeah,
tampons?
The bum gun.
I want tampons.
The bum
But
gun.
That's a challenge for me.
Really? The bum shower is the best. My
Yeah.
brother's telling me the Germans make the best bum shower.
Yeah, and the rich Indians get the Germans to actually clean them.
Have you ever seen the one the French do, the bidet? So you actually have one
Yes.
toilet,
Yeah.
you go
Yeah.
on,
Then
and
you
then the
have
other
to
one where you
do
have
like
to
a bum
sit
shift.
and-
It's a golf also.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to get up and go all over again.
Yeah, that's
For a
amazing.
lazy guy, that's not
it's
fun.
amazing. I hear they've got a lot of options in Japan.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Anybody
It
been
plays
there?
music and lights and all that kind of stuff.
They
The
rate you.
disco
They-
party happens after your
They
poo.
rate your performance. But the toilets, the bowls are really small, so be careful.
You know what? There's actually a website.
So we've been as xenophobic, I think, as our friend Donald Trump on this one. 5 to 6 cultures have been racially abused. Go on.
No, there's actually a website called Poo Reads. So depending on the time it'll take you, so they have like short stories that will last like 15 minutes or 10 minutes or
clever.
2 minutes or like half an hour. So depending on your time for your poo, you can actually pick your poo read.
Oh.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good to know. A
I know.
little fun fact.
Look up poo reads.
Yeah, there you go.
Something for everybody.
Yeah.
What if you just want to pee, but you just love reading?
Yeah, what pee reads? Do they have pee
pee reads
reads?
are
Poo
shorter.
reads. Oh, that's like
As you age, they get longer, though. Takes a long while.
I actually also discovered, I don't know why I know so much about poo-related things, but have you ever heard of poo-pourri?
Poo-pourri.
Yeah.
Potpourri,
Please
I know.
enlighten us.
Okay, so you know when...
Like potpourri?
No, it's poo-pourri, and it's like this little spray bottle. So, you know, poo smells, right? So,
Me.
What are you talking about?
Every day you give us things we don't know.
I know.
Fun
It's so
fact.
beautiful.
I'm all
me.
about the knowledge, spreading the knowledge.
Go on.
Wow,
So
potty
basically, this
talk.
poo-pourri, before you go to the potty, you spray it above, like over the water or whatever in the
In the pot.
in the pot, and then you do your poo. And what happens is, this poo-pourri spray is like essential oil, so it creates like this layer of over like the water. So when your poo goes in, no smell goes out because the
Sealed
essential
in.
oil sealed in.
Sealed in for
So-
freshness.
I don't
Sealed
believe
in.
it.
Try it out. Look
feel-
up poo-pourri.
I want a poopery now.
Yeah, go up. So if you're going to a friend's place and you need to take a massive dump, take your poopery in your handbag.
What if you're doing a dump in the ocean or out of the car?
Who
like
cares?
we do?
Who cares? It smells so
Okay,
hot.
all right. Have a handy helper
Yeah.
at all times.
Cleans your bum
Stop.
when you finish
Next.
your party. Okay, if you had to eat one last meal before you die, where would you eat it from?
Well, that's a tough one for me. I'd go for, I think, Ling's in Colaba. We love my Chinese there. Chinese food, that is. And perhaps Beja Masala at Olympia. That's for me, but
Nice.
let them go.
What about you
Adam?
guys?
Favorite place where I'd have my last
Your
meal.
last meal. You could go anywhere and have your last meal.
Oh, nice. I don't know. I'd probably at home with my folks, I guess. I think that would be a good one.
Oh, that's sweet.
Aw.
That's really sweet.
Doesn't sound so straight anymore, this guy. Mommy, Daddy.
Yeah, my mom's a good cook. What can I say?
Oh, Indian male. He's really Indian.
Yeah, you are really
Yeah,
Indian.
there we go.
God.
Yeah.
What about you, Lynn?
It happens. Probably a New Mexican enchilada in Santa Fe.
Wow.
Yeah, it's damn good with green chili
Not egg
sauce.
pav in Santa Cruz. I can tell you that.
My second choice, though, was, and this is interesting, chana sag, which I never find here in India. I only find it in, like, New Jersey.
What?
Chana and sag.
Yeah, see, why do you guys think that's so weird?
Because that's not really a dish I know. I know both separately.
See, that's what I'm saying. But, like, it's
so
very
it's
big.
a hybrid that's been made there.
Yeah, it's very big on, like, you know,
So it's probably
Jersey
a
Avenue
Punjabi and a Gujarati couple who,
Yeah, who got
interbred
together.
and
But it's
decided
really
half my
good.
culture, half your culture, put it together, get the plate from America and boom.
It's
I know,
really good,
chana
though.
sag.
Chana sag. Yeah.
Wow. For me, I'm kind of on Adam with this. I'd go back to Kerala and go have my grandma's food.
Oh,
Nice,
how
good.
sweet.
Kerala beef fry.
Oh,
and
yeah.
some nice fish.
I would be some salmon. Salmon is some food I like. That we have a lot
One
of that
question is
Northwest.
the food free or we have to pay for it? Because that changes everything again.
My grandma's house.
No, for this question.
No. This is just your last meal. So
It's important to know because suddenly I
on the
ordered all
house.
these things and they say you got to pay for it. I'm like, I don't want to pay for this. It's my fantasy. All
I
right.
agree. So one last question: what's the worst thing you've said in front of your kids?
Oh God, my poor kids. The F word and all was like from birth. We used more bad language and fed them. It was that bad, as far as I can remember. I think in this modern world with the media and the mass media and the internet, and all, who can stop all this? So I've not. And we've got a friend called Kunal, the ugliest Indian ever, which is saying something.
Oh, Kunal.
And he
Oh,
cannot
Vijay
stop his
Kunal.
mouth because he doesn't abuse. Being a single man, he just uses abuse normally, not like us when we get angry. So it's like, oh, listen, I'm going home. So just, it just comes out like that all the time. And he just can't stop himself. So we've just given up.
Right.
And now my daughter corrects us. Dad, you said the F word. And it's like that. And I'm like, oh, sorry. So it's reverse the whole thing.
Good daughter, a good daughter.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
but it is.
And then communal comments come out, especially from Kunal again, blaming one community for traffic jam, another community, which is all correct. Another community for this problem, another community for that problem. So I keep telling them, no, just try and be as liberal as possible, but you can't help it as human beings. You hate people. It's just natural. It'll happen.
That's true. But it is really hard when you use it normally. If you have a small child near you, it is really tough to hold yourself.
Yeah, I have a hard
suddenly.
time. I don't have children, but I have a hard time with the filter.
You forget.
And
Yes,
I
it is
just
really hard.
never use one. And I'm always saying things in front of my
Especially
friends'
during stressful times or you're working at a
Yeah.
fast pace and people it just comes
Or
out.
when you're just at your most casual, right?
Yeah, I was
You
going to say,
just
I don't even say when I'm
realize what
stressful.
you're
I just
saying.
talk like that.
Oh, you're like
usually.
Kunal. Or when you're on the loo. So going back to your personal favorite thing.
What about you, Adam?
Adam never abuses.
Yeah, I actually worked with kids for a while at the
Those
Boys and Girls
those
Club.
are midget Indians. You gotta stop. Make the difference.
Yeah. So So I sometimes know how to turn it off, but I haven't in a while. So I actually have some kids that live at the house that I'm at, and they have learned a couple of F-bomb words.
F-bombs.
Yeah,
Listen, these kids know everything, okay?
Yeah.
Let me
They
tell you.
know everything.
Let's stop it. You can't compare our generation with theirs. They just pick up everything faster,
Not at
so just
all.
give up.
You know, when some of these kids are so smart. I swear, I think I was like throwing myself off walls and eating mud and something like that. And just I was so not as smart as these kids.
Yeah, the kids I live with have figured out the password on my phone, and they turn it on. I come back in the room. They're watching TV and stuff on
Listen,
my phone.
I never used the F word right up till marriage and beyond. After my first affair, when my wife caught us, I said, "Oh, she's here." That's the first time. Never used the word before that. I gotta tell you. So I'm really innocent.
Of course you are.
Really
That
different
face.
times. Times when we had Bill Clinton in power. And back home in India, forget it. All right, thanks guys. Adam, Lynn, we hope to see you again, and we'll get them back after the elections.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should.
See the after effects as well.
Hopefully it will be good news.
We'll know if you want to stay here forever or not.
Yeah, exactly.
I actually have had an American friend tell me that if Trump ever goes into power, that she's not going to go back for the next 4 years. So
Seriously?
yeah.
Wow. What about you?
I have I'm going to plan for it when it comes.
can't
Maybe make a
for when it comes.
maybe
We'll
make a
also have to give
bunker
them
of
a
some
run.
sort.
You can't just
Make
decide.
a bunker.
All right. It's time for us to all go on a 3-day holiday. Not separately, of course. Don't call me, for God's sake.
Come on, Cyrus. You don't want to hang out?
Come
I
on.
want to hang out with us. Yes, I really know.
Okay, catch us on any of the podcasting apps. Please, we beg you, we need you. If you have any questions, write to us online, and you can mail us as well. We will answer. We have a doctor in the house called me.
And that's what Cyrus says.
Time to talk travel stories, and to talk you through travel stories without making a mistake, the one and only Ambika and Hoshna. Yes, their relationship is not approved by me, but their stories are. Check out new episodes on our IVM podcast apps. Happy listening, mother and fathers.
एक्सक्यूज मी भैया, एक्सक्यूज मी,
बोलिए मैडम।
मेन्यू में क्या है?
मेन्यू में सीन अनसीन है, पॉडकास्ट है, ऑन कोर्स है, साइरस से मेड इन इंडिया, रीडिस्कवरी प्रोजेक्ट, एम्पावरिंग सीरीज, सेक्स वैक्स है, IVM लाइक्स है, सिंप्लीफाइड है, कीपिंग इट क्वियर है, थिंग्स एंड डेस्टिनेशंस है, माय नेबर सकरबर्ग है और द फन गराज है। आपको क्या चाहिए?
एक बार रिपीट कर देंगे क्या?
रिपीट नहीं करता हम। आप जाओ IVMpodcast.com पे और सुनो ये सब, या फिर डाउनलोड करो उनका ऐप, सब आपकी उंगलियों पे।